Alright folks, well we have people ask us all the time how to use the glass minnows properly. So what we're going to do today is just a quick demonstration for you on the glass minnows. And there's no real rhyme or reason, we're just going to show you how we do it, and you can adapt to it and create your own jigging rhythms. Today we're out here on beautiful scenic Holter Lake, and we're basically mostly targeting brown trout. We're also going to be fishing for walleye and rainbow trout. So we're just going to give you the gist of how we fish the glass minnows. To start it out, we're using a lighter line. I'm using 6-pound Strin Magnathin. I like mono for jigging because of its clear properties. I do not like the braided line for jigging the glass minnows. There's nothing wrong with it. For new jiggers, it's okay. We really prefer the mono. It's got more advantages, especially for big fish. Mono has a tremendous amount of stretch. A lot easier to keep big fish on. Fishing with a medium light rod, fast action, 6-foot rod. I'm using a CI Stratic 4 or 1000. Just very finessey, very light setup. And the first thing I'm going to do to show you here is how we tie these jigs on. As you can see, this is the yellow perch glass minnow. Most realistic representation of natural forage ever created. What I'm going to do is the regular 5-loop fishing knot, but we're going to double the line. And by doubling the line, it adds extra strength to your knot. It's double the breaking strength. So all you do to do that is take your line and just twist it. So now you've made 2 lines. And you're just going to do your regular 5-loop fishing knot. A little bit tighter to get through the eye of the jig there. Through, now 5 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back through the loop you created. Then you'll have just created a new loop right here, right through that loop. Always wet it, no line burn, pull tight, both ends. Don't use your teeth like me. Got both tags. What we have is the same knot, double the breaking strength. Today we're using a 1/4 ounce glass minnow, generally like 1/8 ounce, always the lightest jig for the application. We're fishing a very steep shelf here, a very dropping shelf. The boat itself is in 30 to 35 feet of water, so to bring it off that shelf, 1/4 ounce is going to be as light as we can go for the application. So what we're doing is we're creating a buffer zone between the jig fisherman, myself, and the shoreline. We're about 20 to 25 yards, where I feel comfortable that I can cast accurately, hit close to shore, and fish the jig back without spooking the fish. So that's how we're going to do this. And what we're going to do, when there's more than one person fishing in the boat, you're going to want to cast at a 45-degree angle. We're going to take the rod, we're going to cast that glass minnow right up in there close to shore. And what you do is you watch your line. It almost looks like a snake is swimming towards you, and boom, it just stopped. That's when you pop it. That means you're on the bottom. Reel in your slack, sink, 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 boom, it just hit the bottom, pop it. Reel in your slack, sink, 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 bottom, pop it. One of the most important things in the world of jig fishing is to mend your line, give it line. If you let your rod just sit here like this, your jig falls on a tight line. And what that does is it brings the jig back towards the boat unnaturally to the fish. So after you pop it, reel in your slack, give your rod tip to your jig. Therefore, your jig is falling on a slack line. When the fish grabs it, it will not feel you. Then when you go to pop it, boom, the fish will be on there. So I'm going to do this a little bit faster for you. Why don't we take a new cast to show you? This is more of the trout method, fishing for big browns, big rainbows. I'm just going to fish right through a cast to show you how we do it. So I'm going to fish right in there to the structure on shore. Sink, 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 pop. Reel your slack in tight. Give it, sink, on a slack line, pop. Hit the bottom. Reel it tight, give it, slack, sink, sink, bottom, pop. And you really want to pop it hard. If you're wearing a hat, I like to tell people to whack, hit yourself in the brim of the hat with your rod. Give it the rod, sink, sink, bottom, pop. That's the trout technique. Now the walleye technique, sink, 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 bottom. I'll go tick, 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 tick. I want to make that bait swim across the bottom like it's a dying bait fish. Landing in the line and pop, 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 pop. Reeling your slat tight, give it your rod, pop, pop, pop. And that today is how we conclude using the glass minnow from Kit's Tackle. Thanks for watching.